Hi, this is Lady Lex UK, and here is another tutorial for Project Spark. And today we're going to be making a wind jumping mechanic, similar to that you see in the game Never Alone. In this mechanic, if you try to jump this gap, as you can see, it's too far and too high and you can't get across. But if the wind is blowing in the correct direction, then you can jump across the gap. If you try and jump when the wind is blowing in the other direction, it will blow you backwards. So you've got to be very careful to jump correctly. So we'll jump now. I think, whoa, we don't want to jump now. We want to wait. We want to get across this one. Wait for the jump. There we go. Now we can jump across this. And like that. Okay. So that's the mechanic. So I've got, there's two brains in this particular assembly then. So we've got our platform set up. When you're making a 2D platformer, put your 2D side-scrolling brain in your character and then test him out so you get the orientation of your props correct in the first instance. Otherwise you could end up making your props in the wrong direction and then have to start again. So don't do that. Make sure you get so that you're started and he's facing the correct way, and you can build your platformers in the right positions. Okay, so having said all that, here is the wind mechanic. We can start off with that. I have here a creation ribbon. It looks like a special effect. It's actually a prop, and I've attached to it a blizzard and a power attachment to that blizzard as well, so that I can turn that blizzard on and off. And this is the brain I have. Okay, at the top it's a 4-second countdown loop. So when started to count down of 4 and then a hold time of 4, toggle global wind. So that global wind boolean will be turned true or false depending on this loop, and also which direction I want that wind to go, whether it's left to right or not. It's either left to right or right to left, but you only need one boolean because it's either true or it's false. If it's false, it's right to left. So if the global left to right is true, then forward is north, else forward is south, and that will turn your prop in different directions, so the wind will be visually shown blowing in the correct direction. And when you have the wind is turned on, then we make sure that our prop is visible. We're playing a wind sound, and we're turning the power on, which will turn the blizzard special effect on. Otherwise, visibility is false, and our power is off, which will turn the blizzard off. And that's the code that you need for the wind. Now, if you were going to put another wind in your level, you don't need the first couple of lines. So you've got exactly the same brain, but you take the first couple of lines out because you've already setting a global wind and left to right mechanic. And so every single wind effect in your level will all be blowing in the same direction at the same time. Now over here, as you can see, I have a very large block. This is the end of my level, and I'm going to use that as a way of detecting which way my player is facing, whether he's facing north or he's facing south, and I'm going to use raycasting for this. So if I go into his brain, I've got a raycast hit here, line 3. I'll just put in a draw. You don't need to draw it, but I'm putting a draw in so you can see it. It's a little hard to see. I'm just gonna, is it testing? No. Right. Okay. There's a line coming up his chest. I think you can see it if I jump. I've blown over into the thing. Let's just wait. There we go. Whoa! And I've blown off the thing. There you go. You can see he's got a line coming out of his chest like that. Okay. That will go all the way along, and it'll hit this at some point. And if it does hit that, then I know he's facing in that direction. And that will help me to determine whether or not the wind is going to blow me left or right. And I've got these blocks here to stop him from getting actually this one's not high enough, as you can see earlier on, so I'll just make that a little higher just in case. That's just stopped him being blown off the level completely. So that's it really, that you just need to make sure that you've got that set up so that you can tell which direction he is facing. Now this brain is a little complicated. It is the 2D side scroller brain. If I scroll all the way down to the bottom, as you can see, there's quite a lot of lines. Right, this is the normal standard brain here. I haven't changed anything. This is all exactly the same. Exactly the same as the standard brain for the 2D side scroller. You might want to fiddle about with the camera to get the angle correct, angle different, the distance of the camera or whatever, but other than that's the situation. Okay, now I'm going to add some code to this. This does get a bit complicated. It has been written out on my website, which is projectspark.co.uk. Just look up wind jumping and you'll find the tutorial all written out for you if this gets a little bit confusing, because there is a lot of indentation of child lines in this brain. Right, so we start off. If flying, multi-jump count equals 0. That stops them from pressing jump while they're in the air. Else, multi-jump equals 1. That means there's no double jumping in this game. You can only jump the once. Let's take that draw out, we don't need it. Right, when raycast hit that backboard, then forward equals true, else forward equals false. This is a respawn mechanic. I won't go through that because there's plenty of tutorials I've done previously on those. Right, when global wind, which is set in that that wind prop, when global wind is true, I'm going to stick my else in here first of all. So when global wind is false and you're not on the if the wind drops while you're in the air, then you will fall. Okay. Now, so when global wind is true and you started to jump, then jump equals true. When jump is true, right, so it says forward else. So when you're facing backwards, so you're facing the back, you're not facing the front, and the wind is blowing left to right, then you will move backwards with flying. And then after that, you will fall. So you'll have a duration time of 1 second. You'll move 1 second with flying forwards, and then you will fall. Then after another second, the jump will be made false. So you can do another jump. If the global left to right is false, so if the wind is moving right to left, then for a second you'll be moved forwards with flying. Else you will fall. Duration timer, jump equals false. If when you jump the wind is moving left to right, then you move forwards and you're facing forward this time. If you're facing forward this time and it's left to right, then it's forward, then fall, then jump equals false. Else it's backwards, then fall, and then jump equals false. Hope that's self-explanatory. It's a bit complicated, I understand. You'll see it on the website. Basically, you've got two sets here. One that says if you're facing forward and the wind is moving away from you, then it will push you forwards, and if the wind is moving towards you, then it will push you backwards. That's basically what that is doing, based on which direction you're facing and which way the wind is blowing. And that is it. That's our wind mechanic that will allow you to get across these gaps when the wind is blowing in each direction. I know it's complicated, but I hope you have some fun with that and put it in your games or something even similar, even if it's just allowing you working out how to do a timed event. That would be helpful for you. So thank you for watching and keep sparking.